The chief character in this narrative is the Caribbean Sea, one of the world's most alluring bodies of water, a rare gem among the oceans, defined by the islands that form a chain of lovely jewels to the north and east. Although bounded on the south and west by continental land masses, it is the islands that give the Caribbean its unique charm. On the north lies the large and important trio, Puerto Rico, Hispaniola, Haiti and the Dominican Republic, and Great Cuba. On the east are those heavenly small islands that so artistically dot the blue waves, Antigua, Guadeloupe, Martinique, All Saints, Trinidad, and remote Barbados among them. The southern shore is formed by the South American countries of Venezuela and Colombia, and the Central American nation of Panama. The western shore is often overlooked, but it contains both the exciting republics of Central America, Costa Rica, Nicaragua, and Honduras, and the wonderful, mysterious peninsula of Yucatan, where the ancient Maya flourished. The Caribbean, nearly 1,900 miles wide from Barbados to Yucatan, does not include either the Bahama Islands or Florida, but does contain near its center an island which at intervals assumed an importance greater than most of the others, Jamaica, with its turbulent history. In the centuries following its discovery by Columbus in 1492, the Caribbean was dominated by European nations fascinated by its wealth, its inviting charm, and its strategic importance in naval warfare. Spain, Holland, England, France, and at brief intervals Denmark and Sweden all became embroiled in Caribbean affairs until it seemed that the area's destiny was determined not by actions in the Caribbean, but by what transpired in Europe. Conversely, and this became a crucial factor in world history, European destinies were frequently determined by great sea battles in the Caribbean, especially those fought among the fleets of Spain, Holland, England, and France. But one must always keep in mind the salient fact about this sea and its islands. The dominant settlers of the area would become the black slaves who arrived in such droves from Africa that in time they outnumbered and eventually outpowered all other groups combined. Many islands would ultimately become black republics, with blacks holding all major offices like Governor-General, Prime Minister, and Chief of Police. In the 19th century, a heavy influx of Hindus and Muslims from India introduced unique influences, making certain islands and regions even more colorful, while in recent decades businessmen predominantly from Canada and the United States have streamed down to invest their intelligence and money in efforts to make the islands tourist havens and international banking centers. The Caribbean is often referred to erroneously as the Mediterranean of America. In a strictly geographical sense, the comparison is apt. Both seas are land-bound. They are almost identical in size. Mediterranean, 969,100 square miles, Caribbean, 971,400. Both have been important historically, but there the similarities between the two great seas end. The lands bordering the Mediterranean gave rise to many outstanding civilizations and the three great religions, while the only great indigenous civilization that operated in the Caribbean area was the Maya in Yucatan, and even it was dying out before the explorers arrived from Europe. But what the Caribbean did provide, and generously, was a sea of heavenly beauty, a cluster of unmatched islands, and a varied series of national occupiers. It certainly has never lacked for either variety or excitement. Above all, it was the theater for one of nature's most violent manifestations, the vast hurricanes that were spawned mysteriously off the shores of Africa and came roaring across the South Atlantic with demonic fury. Each summer a gathering of these monsters rampaged among the islands, sometimes missing land entirely, in other years devastating everything, flattening palm trees, tearing houses apart, and killing thousands. The hurricanes kept to a preordained swath, rarely striking as far south as Trinidad or Cartagena, occasionally as far north as Bermuda, but Barbados and Jamaica could expect to be visited at least once in a decade, and some smaller islands were ravaged with even greater frequency. Sunny beaches of white sand and crystal blue water were the glory of the Caribbean, hurricanes the hell. But however magnificent the sea is, the stories of human endeavor must focus on the scattered islands, just as in the larger world history concentrates on the settled continents. We have neither the time nor space to deal with all the islands, each worthy of its own treatment, but we shall visit in close detail more than a dozen, and in the process observe many diverse civilizations dominated by a wide variety of mother nations. Spain, Holland, England, France, Denmark, the United States, and the societies unrelated to Europe, Arawak, Carib, Maya, African, East Indian. It is a rich tapestry we shall be inspecting. The story begins in the year 1310, on an island, which would later be named Dominica, lying in the middle of the Eastern Arc.